just wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it would fuck up my vibe and blowing my heart. I just wanna sit back and chill and just sip wine. I came from a dark place, now I'm living that life.
I am intentional, I am abundant. I bring to existence all that I want, and I done tapped into the God in me. Cut my locks off and switched up the vibe in me. Like how I manifest within, how I choose to defend. Who I label my friends, how I make amends. Cause I'm choosing laughter, it's peace that I'm after. I abracadabra, then poof, chakras blast off. My soul take this cast off, projection surpass all. Obsidian protection in case this trip lasts long. I see with 3 eyes, that's why my crown headstrong. Corona is viral to spirits living dead wrong
I just
vibration.
wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it will fuck up my vibe. I just wanna sit back and chill and just sip wine. I came from a dark place, now I'm living in light. Came from a dark place, yeah, yeah. Now I'm doing with the light, yeah. Now I'm like making moves, yeah. I be always on the flights, yeah. I be on a mission for the bank nowadays. Why these niggas hating on a nigga nowadays? I've been on a mission with the light nowadays. I ain't fucking with the darkness nowadays.
Peace, y'all. Welcome to today's Cosmic Nobodies Conversations. This is episode number 2, and I'm so excited. I've been getting such great feedback and such great responses. And so, with episode number 2, we are up here with the homie Greg, who has, you inspire me with, the amount of knowledge you have. Greg is someone who is in the spiritual support group, and it's always, such an honor to, sometimes I have myself on mute for the whole time. I'm just listening to you guys exchange information oh my God. So, I'm not going to hog up the space too much because it's a lot of information that you guys are going to receive in this episode. And I just want to make as much space as I possibly can for that. So could you please introduce us to you and what it is that you direct your energy towards? What is your mission statement?
Hi, my name is Greg. I'm an artist, musician. I've had a lot of paranormal experiences growing up that opened my mind and awareness to more truths in life, deeper truths in life that are being held from us. I grew up in a family that my mom has a big family, 9 brothers and sisters, so they always talked about ghosts growing up. They lived in a haunted house when they were young. So I always heard ghost stories growing up. I was always interested in aliens and the abnormal, the paranormal. I always felt a connection with magic. I really did. Like watching Dragon Ball Z, seeing Goku charge up and turn Super Saiyan. I believed that I could do that. Why not? I understood, okay, he's just collecting energy and focusing it and raising the vibration. Why isn't that not possible? Why can't that happen? My mind really leapt into the direction of what's being kept from us, and what we're truly able to do and interact with in this realm. So, upon learning many mind-blowing truths about this realm and our true abilities, it's been one of my goals to share these truths with everybody, to activate the true potential in everybody, because there's so much potential in us that's really superhuman. What we call superhuman is really regular human, but we're just dumbed down. Our DNA is dumb, there's blockages in us that stop us from being the superhumans that's in us. So we really have to learn more about ourselves and unlock everything. And that's where my mission has taken me, to learn more about myself, to learn more about this realm and how to interact with it in the best harmonious way that unlocks my potential and gains me these powers that I have access to. So I just want
I
to
love
share
that.
that with
So
everybody.
like I remember as a kid always hearing that statement, like being a parent doesn't come with the owner's manual. You don't get an instruction book to this. And it's like when I hear you speak, it's like you're creating the instruction book to this. Like we didn't get an owner's manual to this vehicle, this vessel that we're in. We just kind of like we went through indoctrination programs and stuff from K through 12, giving us the food pyramid. Oh my God. So glad. I hope nobody remembers the food pyramid. It is nothing worth remembering. But they had us on complete nonsense in our early stages of life. And I think that is really dope what you're doing now for us, because a lot of us are, in the space where we are having children, and to be able to start our children off with this manual of how to tap into our DNA that has been laid dormant, and how to tap into our non-physical self, and all these different things, to give that to an infant, right? And a baby can hear everything in the womb, so just to give that to the baby while it's still in the womb, and then just
Mm.
watch how that person grows into that, and what kind of child they conceive. Oh, that is so exciting. So thank you for some of the mediums that you utilize as you convey these messages and this information.
You're welcome. Yeah, I understand too that not everything works for everybody. So the way I try to present my information is the most harmonious way that most people could relate to. But I do understand that not everything works for everybody. The manual that I'm writing, it may not work for everybody, but there's logic behind why I say what I say. I don't just say things and believe things because someone else said it. I look at the logic behind it, make sure there's sense, understanding, and I often find that the things that I'm drawn to is connected with other realms, other spaces of life's divinity and the things that make up our realm. Like looking into music, that connects with healing. It could connect with colors, connects with astronomy, connects with a lot of things. So there's a universal way that I am trying to take this approach as I'm writing this manual, understanding that not everything works for everybody, but logic should work for everybody. Logically, by what I say and by what I believe,
Right.
there's a purpose to it. There's truth to it. I like to start just explaining, so I want to talk about cryptids today. Cryptids, which are they call them zoo
Agreed.
I forgot what they call them. I'm sorry. Okay. So cryptids are like hybrid beings, the beings that are in our realm, the beings that are on this earth that we don't know about, that are being hid from us. For some reason, there's beings here that are just as intelligent as us humans, even more intelligent, and they're being kept from us. We share this realm with them, we share this space with them, but for some reason, the powers that be don't want us to know about it. But once you experience those things, it's like, why? It makes you question why. Why don't they want us to know more about it? Because you can't keep me from something I've already experienced. You can't lie to me about something I've already experienced. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, from an American standpoint, our government tries very hard to keep us in a bubble of information. And it's because our government and its institutions was built upon lies. And anything outside the bubble information that they try to keep us in, the truth that exists outside that bubble is going to destroy the foundation of lies these institutions were built upon. So they try very hard to keep us in this bubble of truth. And if stuff starts to permeate that bubble of truth, they try very hard to control how that information will be presented to us, which is why things like ancient aliens started to come out, or the Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster. So I like to go to, well, first I like to say, I want to bring out, make some points to why things are kept from us and how they can destroy the foundations, how the truth can destroy the foundations. Go look at giants. There's giants. We know that giants existed long ago, like 10-foot, 20-foot people. And we know that the bones have been dug up and hidden. Now, why are they hiding giants from us? See, if the truth about giants was exposed, then that would destroy the evolution theory. Because then they have to explain where's the giant monkey bones that evolved into these giants. How did they just have the dinosaur bones and then giant human bones, but there's no giant monkey bones in between? Or like the laws of physics. The laws of physics have been broken many times. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen UFOs do things that the laws of physics say aren't supposed to happen. There's inventions people made that defy the laws of physics, and these scientists get blackballed from universities and institutions for revealing this. So if the truth about the laws of physics was revealed, it would destroy the institutions of physics. Some people might ask for a refund for going to college and not learning the full truth. And then that's another example. And then another example that I just recently thought about is the blackmail tapes. Recently, we've all been hearing about how the people in power, the upper class, actually control each other through blackmail. What they do is they trick each other. They get drunk or high and set something up, or they set a camera up in a room where they catch this person on camera doing some degenerate stuff, and then they blackmail them with the tape. Now the thing is, those tapes will never come out. You know why? Because they have to explain who set up the tape. They have to explain why it was set up in the first place. So all these people that are afraid being blackmailed, it's for no reason. Your blackmail tapes will never come out because they have to explain who set it up in the first place. They have to explain who's recording the tape. So a lot of things in our society stands on lies because the truth will destroy the foundation. So that's why I want to bring into these cryptids and what is allowed. So they will allow certain truths to be revealed to us because they want to control that narrative. And growing up, being interested in paranormal stuff, the first cryptids in America, we learn about are Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, stuff like that. Real, not too deep, but it's always a question: does it exist? Doesn't exist? Or does it exist or not? Really don't hear too many things about it, but that's what America allows for us to see. In other countries outside of America, if you talk to people that live in other countries or read books from other countries and religions, you realize that cryptids are a big part of their religion and society. There was a guy I worked with that used to he's from Guatemala. He said in Guatemala, they have to learn about the cryptids and different ghosts and spirits and beings. It's actually part of the school curriculum that there's these 16 different beings that they have to learn about. So Sorry. Get about thoughts again. Okay, so in America, we just learned about,
No, you're fine.
so in America, we just learned about the chupacabra, Loch Ness monster, and Bigfoot. In Africa, they actually do have. In Africa, they have many, many, many beings. If you read into, I got this book, Indaba My Children by Credo Mutwa.
They're gonna have many more now that they have all that water over there.
What do you mean?
Okay. Well, you know, they have they supposedly there was a big like split between north and south, and a body of water is starting to flood that. Like, could you imagine how many beings was underneath that crust that are about to start coming up? Yeah. They're about to have a whole lot more.
That's right. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Africa is real ingrained in all different types of beings and cryptids that live amongst them in their society, which is, I believe, is part of the reason why African religions are banned. Like, you know, there's some African countries where they can't even celebrate their original religion. They call it witchcraft, and it's strictly forbidden. They get punished for it. But I will say there are some things that I can understand why certain aspects of African religions were banned, because when I in this book, when I read about how they treated the albino children, that wasn't too pretty. Like, you know, but
yeah, I read a couple books on it. It was one book that I read. I forget what it's called, but it was about like I love like the nonfiction that's based on their folklores. And I got into like their whole concept on witchcraft and stuff like that in the nonfiction books. Because this fiction means fake, or does fiction mean real or fake? I don't know. I forget. Those two terms confuse me, but like they're not real stories. It's just, you know, they made up stories, but it's based upon their real traditions and mindset. And it was a couple books that I read that do talk about, there was albino witches, and then women witches that didn't have albinism, and then some witches had vitiligo. Like, it was like a whole thing. And it's very interesting, because when you think about our body, this is just the meat suit. So when I think about certain things like that, I'm thinking like, okay, well, what about what is the energetic tie to that? How are we tying energy to what I look at when I see you, for them to come up with that conclusion? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it also puts me in theories of, well, this is how they treated the first white baby, and that's why we went through the stuff that we went through. Because they was like, oh, no, this defect, put it in the mountains.
Yeah, that thought came across my mind reading the book. Like, man, like, yeah, she was crazy. Yeah, if anyone's interested in learning more about cryptids, I strongly recommend looking into African religions. So
how does the concept of that? Okay, so how does that affect eating animals? Oh, I asked the wrong question.
Wait, what do you mean? The concept of crypt? Wait, how does what affect eating animals?
Like, okay, so we're learning about like the system of certain animals, and I mean, I would like to think that the animals that we see here in the 3D realm have some type of lineage, bloodline to those fantastical animals that are from a different dimension that some of us are capable of seeing. Depends on where our energy levels are at. But like with that bloodline connection, like you have stuff like chupacabra. Like, I would think that a chupacabra is related to some kind of like wolf type of thing. So am I going to be out here eating dogs and wolves? Probably not. Like, things like that.
That's a good question. I never thought about that, actually. I would think that kind of like they're in their own realm. Like, never mind. I can't even answer that question right now. I'm sorry. I cannot even answer that question right now. I have to think about that one.
It's all right. It's all right. But just a thought to think about. Just a thought to think about. Like, how we treat the animals in this dimension that we can see. How is that affecting those dimensional, beings? I would wonder because even in the like the farms and the camps and stuff like that. There's a lot of farming in those places as well. And the humans are digesting all of that, and that's why they be crazy for the McDonald's and stuff like that, because they're ingesting the cow and the chicken adrenochrome, the goat adrenochrome, and now it's horses. Burger King serves horses. So and I equate horses to unicorns. And centaurs. I don't want to eat them hoes. So, I definitely don't want to eat the adrenochrome of a. So I think about like that energetic lineage, especially because we put these animals and these folktales to such a high regard. Even the ones we claim are evil are still at a high regard.
Yeah.
I don't know, just
yeah, that's pretty deep.
So okay, so you've been studying African. Have you been studying like the Native American animals and the cryptids over here as well?
Not so much, just more of what comes along, like just paying attention to what I hear. I mean, I'll ask people. I'm always interested in paranormal stuff, so I ask people what they've seen and heard. I mean, what really took my interest for a ride was when I first heard about duendes. This is what like made me realize that like, oh shit, it's some real shit out here. So when I heard about duendes, what they are, they're little trolls in Mexico. I was talking to an old coworker, and he said, he had a house in Mexico that he was at years ago, and he said that he caught a duende, like little people, probably the size of a water bottle or the syrup bottle, like real small. But
okay.
But he said that he heard about them. They're known in different villages in the forest throughout Mexico, and some people, for the most I've heard, they say they're bad. Like, stay away from them. Don't touch them. Don't interact with them. Don't mess with them. I heard few people say that they were good. I wouldn't really test the waters, but so my ex coworker, he said that he actually captured a duende at his house in Mexico. He said he made a trap with a chicken cage, and he like baited a chicken trap, and he said the cage closed, and the duende was stuck in there. He said it was like this little tiny person, like humanoid figure, and he said it was like screaming, like he said it was screaming, making that noise, and yeah. Yeah, he said later on when his dad got home.
See, sometimes like I know as humans we be curious, but sometimes.
What was that?
Ooh, there we go. I was like, sometimes that's my beef with humans. Like, we just have a habit of wanting to put things that we find in cages, and it's like, no, they have a family that's waiting for them to make it back home. Like, let them go. Say hi, how you doing? It's nice to meet you, and then keep it going and let them go.
Yeah, it's part curiosity, part domination. Yeah, he said when his dad got home, his dad beat his ass because they're bad luck in the village. Like, you're not supposed to be having those around. So his dad gave him that whooping, and he had to let the duende go. And ever since I heard that story in 2015, and ever since I heard that, I was like, yeah, I wanted to know more. Like, who else seen duendes? Like, can I get one on camera? Like, where are they at? Like, You know, how come I haven't heard about this before? That's what blew my mind. How come I haven't heard about this before? Heard the Chupacabra story thousands of times, but only heard the Duende story one time. So it was that's really what made me have a more interest in cryptids and want to know more about them. But also too, one of my other introductions into cryptids was David Icke and the reptilians, which is a whole nother conversation. We like have a whole nother show about reptilians alone. But when I first heard about reptilians, I laughed. My friend was reading the David Icke book, and he told me, "Greg, the government's working with lizard people, and they're running the world." And I just laughed, like, "What are you talking about? Lizard people?" Then I read the book, and I stopped laughing. Well, the thing that made me, two things that David Icke said that made me believe in reptilians more is how in every culture, if you look in the ancient civilizations around the world, the reptilian is revered, either a snake or they talk about a reptilian figure. Like the Chinese, they got the dragons. In Egypt, they got the snake on the cobra on their headdresses. India, they got the Nagas. South America, like Central America, Maya, they got Quetzalcoatl. It's the reptilian figures all around the world being mentioned in these ancient civilizations. These ancient civilizations that built amazing things that we can't replicate today. So they had to know more than us. But the government wants us to believe that they just imagine these things, which doesn't make sense. They knew enough to build some pyramids, but when it came to depicting the animals, that's when they want to go off what's real. So that was one thing that David I spoke about that opened my eyes. And the second thing he mentioned is that there's more stars in the galaxy than there are grains of sand on our planet. So there's enough space for all possibilities. And I can't argue with that. I can't. Oh, you got me there. Like, all right. That really opened my eyes to open my mind to the limitless possibilities. Anything's possible. Anything is possible because there's enough space for it. So
Agreed. I agree wholeheartedly. This realm we live in is so, and I think that we've been tricked into believing that the different like bodies of land and water and gases and all those things are so far away we can't reach them. And I also wholeheartedly believe that we've never been taught about ourselves. So us only being taught about, and then they didn't even fully teach us about our physical self. As a man, not knowing about your own planetary cycles and moon cycles. As a woman, just being so shamed out of your moon cycle that you don't even want to deal with it. You're just like, whatever. We've been, shamed out of our planetary cycles. If you believe in these things, you are, out there or whatever. But these planetary cycles are important because they're letting us know where we can travel to non-physically during certain periods of time, what kind of energy we can access to, what kind of dimensions are we, open up to during periods of time. What spaces can we astral project to during certain periods of time? What kind of dimensional creatures are you going to visit during what period of time? Because that's where your non-physical self is open to receiving. We don't get this kind of edification here. It's more so a lot of training us to work. And now they're training us to work in warehouses. So before, where us being trained to work, we were able to explore many different, and I'm not taking that away from being present. I just see from like our class of people, we're all being pushed into warehouses. And so they're even taking away the complexity of the different occupations we would choose. You used to be able to be an explorer. You used to be able to be a research scientist, a research engineer. like research doesn't mean I went to college for X amount of time. Research is I'm outside digging in the dirt. I'm outside doing
Mm.
experiments and stuff, and I'm getting the funding or support or resources or whatever needed to do that. And that was actually an honored title to have. Oh, I'm a research engineer. I'm a research astrophysicist. Like that, those are the titles that I would put upon you, you know, and
Mm.
those are high accolade titles. However, we're not being taught that we could be those things anymore. You know what I mean? It's not, we're not, I'll use the word groom because that's what the education system is for, is to groom us. We're no longer being groomed to ask questions and be scientists and engage in the scientific, you know, process of things anymore. Now it's just, you just take what's being told, you digest it. Does it agree with my emotions or not? We're just being emotionally driven, and we're not even getting the proper edification on what an emotion even is. And why do we feel it the way we feel it, and why do we express it the way we express it when we do so? Like, we're not even getting the full scientific, you know, analysis of that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for being you and not allowing, because I know society has probably tried to clip your wings a few times. So thank you for, you know, keeping those wings on you and still exploring. Now, the more you learn, how is this changing your paradigm and your experiences with the different dimensions?
Definitely connecting more with it. Yeah, I have to always bring it back to psychedelics. That's something I talk about a lot because that's also one of the things that have opened my eyes to our true potential and different dimensions that we're able to access. Um, I would say, you know, from what I learned through psychedelics has opened my eyes the most for cryptids and dimensions. I have taken many interdimensional travels. They say, like how they try to say space is the next frontier, but nah, the next frontier is right here. Like this is, we have access to it already. There are other realms we can access and take information from and bring it back to this realm, and that information will be valid. In 2015, I on the 4th of July, I went hiking and to the top of a tall hill in the Merino Valley by Lake Paris, and I took mushrooms and LSD, and that was the first time that I seen cryptids and my ancestors while tripping.
Hmm.
First, first I started getting these. First, I started seeing a lot of symbols. It was like a lot of ancient Egyptian symbols and geometries. Like some people will call them satanic symbols. I don't. I can't say whether or not they were good or bad, but I didn't get good bad vibes off them. I was seeing a lot of symbols flashing. That's how it started. I took the mushrooms, I took the acid, and I chilled back, and all these fucking I started seeing hieroglyphs and all these symbols flashing. And then I look and I see this like half human, half animal being. It's like a half, like almost like a bear, almost like a bear or a lion face, but with a human body. And it looked like ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet. Like it looked very like yeah, I know where you're from. Like what he was wearing, he had things around his elbow, like bands around his elbows and stuff. Looked like tribal. Like all his gear just looked very much like ancient Kemet. And the information I was getting, because there's telepathic communication, is that he was here to protect me, but also since I was on top of that hill, he was observing. We was both observing the distance. You could see the whole city and we was observing, detecting the harmony and knowing how to harmonize everything. Could detect everything that was out of harmony, and he was analyzing how to put it back in harmony. So then I started seeing my ancestors. I looked on the ground, and I started getting tunnel vision, to where the sides of the tunnel was my ancestors. And the deeper that I went through the tunnel, the older the clothing got. So the deeper I'm going through this tunnel, the further down my bloodline I'm going, and I'm seeing my ancestors. And then eventually, at the end of the tunnel, it was just all black, and I see this like neon tribal. This guy, he's wearing like neon tribal gear, and the telepathic messages she was telling me. So yeah, I'm your ancestor. You're an interdimensional being. We're interdimensional beings. We're put on this earth to protect it. Tribal dances are for stomping healing energy into the earth. That's why we're such rhythmic people. It's the language of healing that's in us that we're supposed to put back into the earth through our rhythms.
You know, I love that. And that brings me to a dream I used to have. When I first was trying to purchase land in Arizona, it was these dreams I used to have, and they're starting to come back to me now. And I'm out there and I'm there with my sons. And my youngest, he loves to scream. When he was a baby, he would just always scream, and me and his dad would run in the room like, "What's wrong?" And it wouldn't really be nothing wrong. He just wanted to scream. And I remember one time he kept getting in trouble because he would do that at school. And I'd be like, "Bro, you can't do that." And he'd be like, "Well, if I can't scream at home and I can't scream at school and I can't scream at where can I scream? Because I just want to do that." And so in this dream, it's just me and my sons were screaming at the top of our like, and I have one hand on my chest and we're screaming so loud that I just collapse. And I have one hand on the earth and one hand on my chest and we're just screaming. And I always wake up at this part because it's like I wake up in the midst of the earth responding to us. Like you can feel the movement and we're looking and there's tears rolling and we're screaming. And I always wake up at that part. I don't get to see what happens next. But what you just said reminded me of that because Earth is heart. You know, Earth is heart and this is the beat. And Earth does have a frequency. And it's a solid planet, you know? And we didn't start off, like I was following Bobby Hemmett at one time. He said, we didn't start off as solid. We once upon a time were a non-physical planet before we got cold and condensed. And before we were a physical planet, that's when we were non-physical beings. And that's the gods that we speak of that were out here doing things and stuff like that. We were the non-physical beings. Now, once the earth started to cool down, now you got these different phases that, you know, we've been indoctrinated, you know, into believing is this period and this period and this period, you know, all about the dinosaurs or whatever. But that was really the process of us cooling down and condensing, which comes to the giants. Once upon a time, it was so hot here that our bodies were expanded huge. Those dinosaurs are the iguanas and the chickens and shit we see today. We've all condensed as the earth got colder and colder. But what's happening now is the earth is getting warmer and warmer again. So the giants are returning. The dinosaurs are returning. And we see more of that. Like, you know, Google is built to the things I'm interested in. So now there's these new big species of animals in the bottom of the ocean. There's these new big species of lizards and dragons and stuff in these different parts of the world. You know, people are having big babies. Like the giants are returning because we're getting hotter and hotter. And there's some beings here that can only survive with us being this condensed. So what they're doing is they're creating an alternate reality, like an artificial virtual reality. They are trying to go to other planets where they think that they could stay in their state. Like they're scrambling to continue to exist. Meanwhile, the rest of us who know, like the solar flares are here to expand us again. We're going back to our non-physical energy. So the giants are returning. And even if we can't do it in this physical vessel, it's happening energetically to where like we're thinking about each other. We're thinking about strangers we didn't even meet yet. And then when we finally meet them in the physical, it's like, oh, okay, because my energy has expanded back to that. It takes a little bit longer for the physical to catch up with the thought. Thought moves way faster than physical manifestation. So, keeping that in mind, like, what you're saying is just like bring me back. Like, yeah, we got to put that rhythm back into the earth to let the earth know, like, we're ready for this expansion. Like, we're open to it. And then also being ready for that transformation that has to happen to do that.
Damn, that was. Damn.
But I do love to watch the footwork.
Yeah, that definitely resonate with what Bobby Hemming was saying. The thing with that ancestor was telling me about stopping healing energy into the earth. That he's explaining the science of it, because we stop the healing energy into the earth, but that vibration is going to ricochet back into us, and everything is one. The universe is in us already, so we're just stomping healing energy back into ourselves by stopping healing energy into the earth. Yeah, that was that. So yeah, that really that's what I mean. Like when I say we could go to other realms and access information that's valid here, or talk to other beings and gain information that we could use here. That's what they don't want us. That's what they're trying to keep from us. That's one of the biggest things, the biggest secrets, one of our biggest potentials that they don't want us to have is to go somewhere else or talk to another being and get information that they don't have access to. And that's what I believe. That's what's the next frontier. I think that's what's for humans. What I feel, that's what's the next frontier for us. So go into these realms, learn about our true potential, interact with these beings, and then gain information that we can use, that's going to help us and live in harmony, the best harmony with this realm. So so after seeing the ancient Egyptian the hybrid being for the first time, that really, like, I wanted to know more. Like, hold on, what's really going on? I wanted to know who that was. I tried looking for that being, but I haven't found the exact same one. I haven't found him yet. But it took me over into India and the Hindu religion, how they also have half animal, half human hybrids. And there is, when you really look into the truth of history, you realize that Egypt and India are connected. Yeah, so it's like, so you can't tell me that these people are just making up stuff and revering these beings just because it's, just because, So it made me think, like, were they taking psychedelics themselves and seeing this, and they had more of a connection with these beings, or were these beings physically here to where, they didn't have to take psychedelics to connect with them? They were just already there. Maybe the vibration of the earth was different at that time, and maybe something happened that split up the vibration that sent those beings to another realm. Or maybe they were taking psychedelics and had more of a lasting connection.
There's a lot of effort going towards fixing our vibration. That whether the radio waves, the television waves, the microwaves, all of these like waves are coming and disrupting our waves. Like the internet waves, they don't even move to the same shape as our natural waves. So that's why we're getting cancer. Like cancer is a physical response to what's happening to you energetically. You could be around a whole bunch of internet stuff and get cancer. You know, you could wear certain clothes and get cancer. How is it that they taught us it was just something you ingest? If I eat certain food or whatever. No, it's a response to what's happening energetically. When we look at these different fast foods, like most of the fast foods, they use red. McDonald's uses red and yellow. Chick-fil-A is red and white. They're telling you what frequencies they're coming for. I'm coming for your root chakra, and I'm coming for your solar plexus chakra. I'm coming for your white beam chakra, which is your whole auric field, in addition to your root chakra. So Chick-fil-A is coming for, you know, a whole different dimension and your root chakra at the same time. So we don't really know these things. Like, we're not being taught these things. But yeah, it's definitely a frequency. When they told us it was a spiritual war, they weren't lying. They just didn't know how to iterate the spiritual war that was happening, because everything was indoctrinated. Everything was like reworded books. So it wasn't given to us the way it was supposed to be. Like, in our minds, we're thinking about, like, they put these pictures in our mind of what it's supposed to look like. We're the angels. We were born into revelation. When I came through the womb, revelation was already here. I'm here to help fix it and build upon the ashes. Not be scared because it's on the way. I was born in it. I'm here because revelation exists. Y'all summoned me to fix this with y'all Bibles and y'all praying and y'all stomping and the baptisms and everything they did in enslavement time. Well, it wasn't enslavement time. Everything they did in the beginning of the doctrination phase of war, it invoked us to be here now. And we're on the other end. Like, our parents and grandparents were born in Revelations. You know, their parents and grandparents were born in Revelations. We're literally here for the aftermath. As we enter, you know, we haven't fully entered the age of Aquarius yet. We got to let Pluto do its thing for the next 20 years. And then, as you know, Pluto walks out on the tropical, it walks in on the Vedic, then we're walking in the Aquarius age. So as we walk into this space, you know, then we'll be able to build upon the ashes and things. But yeah, for generations, we've been born into Revelations. We just didn't know how to look at it because, again, we weren't given the manual to do that. So, thank you for pulling that out, and thank you for providing that information. You know, for those, could you let people know how they can find you and communicate with you?
You can find me on YouTube as a YouTube channel is Sage Dragon 528 Hertz. Oh, I think I changed it. It's a why you Lions man. I never mind. Sorry. I forgot what I changed it. You can find me on Instagram at YU_Lionsmane. Y.U.Lionsmane, like the, you know. You can find me on Facebook at Grey7, GREYSEVAN. You can find me on YouTube.
And this will be the last time you guys see. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Seven Cymatics.
What was the last part?
YouTube at Seven Cymatics. That was my YouTube
okay.
channel.
And that's how you have it spelled on the screen. Yeah, that's how he has it spread on the screen. This is not going to be the last time y'all see Greg up here on this platform, because he gave me a plethora of different topics that he wanted to address. This one particularly was on animals and the I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher the title. It's cryptids. I forget.
Cryptids.
But this one, I'm sorry.
Cryptids.
So this one was specifically on this topic, but you guys will see Greg come back quite a few times here having Cosmic Nobody conversations. He has so much information on these things, and we're going to work on incorporating these wooden books and all the other books that we have, you know, accumulated over space and time to have these conversations. Thank you, Greg, so much for being on the show. And thank you guys for everybody who tuned in. If you're interested in being on an episode of Cosmic Nobodies Conversations, reach out to me. I can be reached on Instagram at Let's Nobody's Business LLC, or you can find me Sunshine Monet L everywhere else. So again, thank you guys. And we're out.
Can I say one more thing?
I appreciate y'all.
All right, so one more thing, I just wanted to say that when I was on that hill in 2015 and I seen the ancient Egyptian spirit for the first time. It was like half animal, half human, with the ancient Kemet garb on him. He was also telepathically telling me about the spiritual war that we're in. He said, yes, we are in a spiritual war. It's taking place all around us at all times. And the fact that they keep digging up mummies over there, that's affecting the spiritual war. I believe that's helping out the Kemet people, helping release their need to finish a spiritual war. The more they dig up mummies and stuff, the more the ancient spirits are going to want to fix what's been broken. So yes, there's a spiritual war happening all around us. And through psychedelics, you are able to see parts of that spiritual war. So I just want to say, everyone, just keep that in mind. Keep your spirits high, very high, and learn your true potential, because it's being kept from you. And once you find out your true potential, you really realize how endless we are. Thank you, guys. That's it.